advice from you about dating, right? And she said, Adam, I only have 35 siblings. I don't see what the big deal is. I'm like, I'm like, yeah, that would freak some people out.
Yeah.
Just it's like, I have like none because I'm an only child, and you have 35. I mean, it wouldn't stop me from dating you, but it's something like in someone's space.
Finding commonality might be awkward.
So when you were running, how many months do you run for? And was it
So
June
we had
or-
a primary, so it started, in June 2017.
June of 2017. And what things did you see that came up in people's space? Like like 35 siblings, she's on a date. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? It has nothing to do with their dating, but it was an express that probably made people pull back. What did you see running for office that made people pull back?
There was a definite contrast after the primary when it was down to myself and Mike Hansen. There was a definite contrast between he and I in terms of he's very aligned with the outgoing administration there in Cottonwood Heights. A very male, very patriarchal, very authoritative. He was very assumptive that he was going to win, but I outworked him.
Obviously. So what does that mean? So you outworked him. So
Yeah.
what does it take to win an election like that? And you're saying you outworked him, so obviously it had something to do with work. So
Yeah.
what was that?
It's two-part. You've got to run a really smart campaign, and you've got to work really hard. And if the why is big enough, you will get it done. For me, it was big enough. I was super motivated after Trump won. I just wanted to infuse myself into the system at whatever level I could. And I found out who my voters were. I accessed as many emails as I could. I hit everyone up for advice that I could think of, and I listened and I took notes.
Everyone. Now, when you say everyone for advice, because I talk about this, did you ask anyone or did you ask people that were experts?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah. Margarita Satini, she lives in Cottonwood Heights. She had previously run for city council, and so she was my effective campaign manager, and she was brilliant and talented. And my brother is a longtime Utah politician, and so I leaned on his advice. My cousin is a Utah politician. The outgoing mayor in Cottonwood Heights is actually my brother-in-law's brother.
Oh, that's cool.
A lot of political activity in the family. I never thought I would be a politician, but then, things change. Never say never.
So what did you want to change in Cottonwood Heights that you saw would be helpful? And I actually grew up in Cottonwood Heights, so I know the area, I know a bit of the history, because Cottonwood Heights didn't exist. It was just the county.
Right.
And then, this is what my dad says, don't be offended, I don't say this. My dad says a bunch of out-of-work politicians decided to make it a city and raise, because he saw his water bill go from like cheap to triple, literally triple. And he showed me, like one day he's like, look, I'm like, I guess you're right. I thought it was just old man complaining, but he was right.
Right. Yeah, having not been there when they incorporated, I don't know what the real stimulus was to pull away from the county. Desire for more control, but whose desire? That's a good question. So Mayor Cullimore was there from the very beginning, and he just retired. So this is his first year of not being the active mayor. And the district council member from my district became our new mayor. And then we also got another female in District 4. So a pretty big shift in the dynamics of Cottonwood Heights leadership. It was in fact, one of my mailings was illustrated how all of the city council members were pretty much the same dude. I did grayscale images of each of their photos.
Oh, are
and
you
they're
serious?
all middle-aged white
was
male.
that was one of your campaign things? Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's a little grayscale photo of each of them and a big color photo of me, and said, "Time for a fresh perspective." I got a lot of positive feedback
That's all I had
on
to
that.
say, right?
That's all I had to say.
That's awesome. So you were creative with your approach.
Yeah, creative.
So it wasn't just that you outworked him, you outsmarted in
Yeah,
that case, right?
Yeah, that was a pretty smart ad.
Mhm.
It really was. And then I had an army of women that showed up for me, and we knocked on doors all day, every day. I knocked at least 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, from June until November.
And that made a big difference.
A world of difference, yeah.
Mm.
We pretty much knocked on every door. Not
I
everybody
was
was
about to
home,
ask you
but
that. I was about to ask you that.
every active voter. You get the voter rolls. You don't knock on non-voters' doors because you're wasting your time. I'd like to go back and knock on those doors and register them to vote, but
Mhm.
we focused on registered voters. And
So if someone had I probably shouldn't ask this. I should ask this before, but you can just be a politician and defer my question.
okay,
So if
I don't know
people
how to
in
do
if
that.
people in Cullen Heights had a question or sometimes maybe it's a complaint, let's say something that they're dealing with, how could they get a hold of you to see if they can cause an effective change, or just let you know, because you might not
Yeah.
even know there might be a problem and you want to take care of it.
Right. I'm really readily accessible on Facebook, email, cell phone is online. But in addition to that, every second Sunday of every month at my personal business, About Time Pub and Grub in Cottonwood Heights, I host Tali Time at 10 a.m. every month. Every second Sunday, 10 a.m. Come by About Time Pub and Grub and tell me all your woes. I like to say that I like to hear your concerns, but I love to hear your solutions.
Oh, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
I say this like, whoa, wait, stop. Because it's like, tell me what we can do,
Yes.
not what we can't do.
Right.
Because I get it, this isn't going to work. We already said that. We don't need to like drag it out and beat it, you know.
That's the biggest shift that I'm trying to make in Cottonwood Heights. The corporate staff, there's some really talented individuals there, and they've been, I don't know if they're just downtrodden or beat up, but there's a culture of no. So every time you go to them with an idea or a concept, and they have a laundry list of why it won't work, they can't do that, this won't happen, I don't know, it's just a culture of no, and so if I can shift anything, it'll be that.
So I would say it's like, I was talking to, I think it was you, David. See, I'm quoting him. I think it was him. I was talking about like, I just don't get the world because there's some things that are so obviously wrong, but we go with it because it's policy or procedure or that's what's done, you know?
Right.
It's not just Common Heights, it's the world. Like, yeah, I know, that's how it is though. And I'm like, why? Why do you need to go through like all these steps instead of just going from A to B? I mean, you're just making up that you can't go to A to B.
I've got
It's right
this
there.
saying, if it's until the fear of things staying the same becomes greater than the fear of change, people don't change. So unfortunately, our human condition has to get really horrible before we effect change. And that is, I don't know, that seems to hold up a relationship, career.
Because it's comfortable?
Yeah, people are scared to change. So they will stay and stay and stay with the status quo beyond when it's not working.
What about the people that do change when they do, like, people break up with people, get divorces, leave jobs? Alright, so this is perfect for you. You said that you decided to, you already said it, but you saw a problem, Trump, and you decided to make a change. But how does going to a small town like Cottonwood Heights, right, and becoming city council affect Trump? Or was it that you said, well, if he can become president, anyone can do it? That's what I would say.
There is truth
That's
to
what
that.
I would say. I'm like,
there is total
I
truth
love.
to that.
I mean, I don't love his decisions, but I love that the example Trump made is like, if he can become president, anyone can do it.
Right. There is a lot of truth to that, for good and for bad. But I think what Trump's really shown and demonstrated over this last year, leadership sets a tone. The tone in this country has become so ugly, like harder and faster slide down than even I anticipated, and I knew it was going to be bad. And so leadership sets a tone, and I thought if I could just interject a little bit of inclusiveness, lovingness into my community, in my little we might lose the war, but we can win a battle or two.
Mm.
So
Do
I
you-
will fight for that.
So I do videos and this show and another show and another show.
A lot of shows.
Oh, yeah. But I have this like either delusional or I have this thought that, well, I don't want to just complain about it. I want to do something about
Yeah.
life and things.
Right.
And so I get frustrated. My friends hear all the time. I'm frustrated with the human condition, and I still go out there and I want to cause change. Do you think from our little pockets that we're actually causing change, or is it useless?
We are. Even if it's little tiny things, it's worth the effort because, for example, week before last, the chief of police in Cottonwood Heights sent out this email for everybody to comment on, and it was this atrocious sign that he wanted to mount on every stop sign throughout the city of Cottonwood Heights. And the sign was like, don't feed the pigeons, but it was don't feed the homeless. Don't give tips to homeless people.
You have homeless in Cottonwood Heights?
Like one.
Yeah.
I've seen, because his perception is that since they cleared up the gateway situation,
Mhm.
the homeless are all over the valley now.
Well, they did. I have seen that.
They
but
have spread.
I don't know if they
have.
made it yet to Cottonwood
Yeah,
Heights.
well,
but
one. I saw the one.
One, yeah.
But the sign that he wanted to post was just dehumanizing, crushing to my soul.
Mm.
And he had sent it out in a mass email, and 2 people had already responded saying, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea." And I'm like, "No, shut that down right here, right now. Over my dead body,
Mhm.
will we put some message like that up in Cottonwood Heights?" It was. So if that's all I do, if that's my only big accomplishment
Oh, you're
as
set.
council member,
Yeah.
I feel good about that.
Well, it also, I mean, there's a few things. I don't know what the sign was, but it'd also be saying, warning, we have homeless people in Cottonwood Heights. Please don't hang out here.
Yeah,
Please don't come
perpetuating fear.
Mhm.
And fear is, I don't know, it's contagious. People seem to gravitate to fear and hostility and anger.
And they don't too at the same time because we wouldn't
Yeah.
have such great things available. I mean,
Right.
I think I don't know what's going on in the world, but there's some things like I was saying earlier. It's like, what is going on?
There's a unique opportunity to wake up right now.
So what's wrong with Trump? Why? Why? I mean, some people love him. So why do you go? Oh, I saw a problem with Trump and he took action.
Well, from my observation, he's deplorable. He's sexist, xenophobic, homophobic, racist. He's a con man. He's atrocious with money. He's
Tell us
atrocious
how you
with
really
humans.
feel.
Oh, sorry. Oversharing. Yeah, I have a very low opinion of him. But it's based on his life. Everything he's done.
Mhm.
The 3,500 lawsuits that have been filed by contractors that he stepped on.
3,500?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I had no idea. I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard different things here and there,
Yeah.
but 3,500, that's public record.
That's public record.
Oh, wow.
You know, the 16 women that have accused him of sexual assault, the women that have been in his beauty pageants that he appeared behind the curtains to.
So you should never sexually assault anyone. I'll say
Right.
that first, because remember my middle of the road thing? It freaks people
Yeah.
out. You start talking, wait, is he for sexual assault? No, I'm not for sexual assault. So
Play devil's advocate.
why so 16 people came out, said that. And it's been happening everywhere, right? Why has nothing happened about it? Why is it okay? I mean, we shouldn't be surprised that people came out, considering what came out. It was before he was president, right? That saying and all the way he viewed things and stuff, right?
Right.
I'm avoiding actually saying it. So why are we surprised? Why is it a big deal, or why isn't it taken care of? And what would it be to take care of it? What would you do?
Well, I think it is a big deal, number one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's not a big deal to a lot of people. A lot of people are willing to put all of those things on the shelf if they believe that their agenda is moving forward, and that's not okay with me.
Mm.
So I'll continue to love those people, but I'll fight that agenda and that kind of corrupt person. I'll find it.
So I was born in where was I born? Queens, New York. I was born in Queens, New York. My parents are Egyptian, making me Egyptian, but I'm really like I'm American. Then I'm kind of Egyptian. And I was saying like to these diehard Trump fans on Facebook. I was saying, well, he did say this. I might be able to hear him if he didn't say, these shithole countries, right? People coming from these shithole countries. I might be able to see what he's doing good, but I appreciate if he stopped insulting me or insulting people, right? And just being like, it's okay. Why do you think people say, oh, that's fine, he's doing a good job over here? Because normally, if someone's being, I don't know how to say it in a nice way, a filter, David?
Being a jerk.
Yeah, if someone's being a jerk, right? But he's doing a good job. They still don't like him because he's being a jerk. So why is that allowed? Why can he just get away with doing all this?
I guess everybody's got their own line in the sand, you know? For me, he's so far past my line in the sand in terms of what I'm willing to sit down and have a reasonable conversation with. And he's consistently atrocious. You know, the most recent flagrant lie that he would have run into that school without a weapon.
He what?
He's
what?
The school shooting that just
happened. I know.
Yeah. He said that he would have run in there, even if he didn't have a weapon. He would have charged in there to try to take down the gun. He personally would have done that. And how does anyone even entertain these concepts when they're so obviously contradictory to everything he is? I just don't I guess I don't comprehend how people can fall so hard for such a heavy con man. I try to wrap my head around it, but I haven't yet.
I think people like to follow people, and if they're being big and large, it's easy for people to follow and believe what people said. I've always wondered that. Why do people believe what people say so easily and not look at the actions? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone does this, but I've seen people follow that way, right?
Yeah.
So what, you said staying sane and focusing on what you can control. What was that about?
So this is a pattern I've noticed in my life. If things are kind of spinning out of control for me, I'll identify what can I control, pull my focus in tight, and focus on what I can control. Prime example, after my second divorce, one that I didn't choose, everything was spinning out of my control, and literally everything, all I could really control was diet and exercise. And so I got into competitive bodybuilding after my second divorce, and which was great because I looked phenomenal when I met my third husband.
Oh, great, that's good.
And he's a keeper, so we just celebrated 10 years last year.
Awesome.
We merged a bunch of kids a decade ago. Brady Bunch. Now they're 5 in college and they're thriving. They're amazing little people.
That's great. Not little.
Grown up people.
Yeah, they're not
all
little.
Grown
up.
They're
college. They're in college now.
Yeah, they're people.
So what does it take to run an election?
So
a local election.
Yeah, we started on that. You've got to be organized. You've got to know who your constituents are. Have a strategy.
Take notes, guys. If you want to make a difference, quit complaining about it and take action.
Yeah, I hope that every single person watching this runs for the 2018 election. Let's have a tidal wave of sanity. Whatever your why is, why you're thinking about doing it, focus really, really heavily on that why, and it'll make all of the how seem trivial.
What about the people you don't really want running, though?
Yeah, not you.
Everyone, yeah. Wait, some people you might be like, whoa, wait, when I said that, I didn't mean you.
I'm pretty sure that if there's somebody I wouldn't want running, and as much as I've said so far, they've already clicked off. So we're probably into a safe audience at this point. That would be my guess.
So the list was, sorry.
Get focused.
Oh,
have a strategy.
Focus, that's good.
Have a way to contact. If you can buy an email list or a texting list, raise some money. But a good campaign advisor is going to help you with all of those steps. The thing that probably helped me the most was committing my friends to walk with me. So I had a schedule and I shot it out 30 days in advance, and I just bugged people and bugged them and bugged them until they committed to walk with me, and then I had to walk. People are showing up at your house to knock on doors with you,
right?
you go.
That's
And so, because there was many a day when I was like, oh, I'm just burned out, I don't want to knock on doors, but somebody shows up to walk with you, you're out there.
I feel like that sometimes about the show. I was excited about today's show, but sometimes I'm like,
I wish
another
they
show. Why am I doing this? It's like, so it's just a story that runs up because we get into our human nature, or at least that part of our human nature.
Right.
That we just want to be lazy, we want to eat candy, we want to, watch a show, whatever it might be.
Netflix and chill. Yeah, it's easy to be lazy.
It's easy to be, yeah, it is easy to be lazy.
Easy to be lazy.
So what are the great things that you've gotten out of being on the city council?
Probably inspiring other women to run. If I can, there's a couple of my Facebook friends that have just recently announced they're running for school board and they're running for this committee or that committee, and I'm just so excited to see that. I think women have the potential to salvage the situation that we're in, I hope. So that would be probably number one. I went to a DARE, 5th grade DARE graduation. You know what that is? The drug and alcohol program, that they teach in 5th grade. And just to have a city council member sit up there and be a woman, that just makes me feel really fulfilled.
Why do you feel like more women don't take on that challenge?
I think,
like, what did you see being a woman about to or making this decision that you could see, I could see why a woman wouldn't want to do this?
Yeah, well, to be perfectly honest, I think a lot of people
Please don't lie to us.
I'm going to lie to you.
She's a politician, lie to us.
I really suck at that part.
Good.
I've got to work on that whole lie with a straight face. I don't know how to do it. But I think people that are drawn into politics are seeking power or authority, and women are more cooperative, and we want to collect data and analyze and make a group decision,
or never make a decision.
Or never make a decision. Put it off. That's easy to do in politics. So I'm speaking for myself, I guess. I never foresaw myself wanting to be a politician, but my why got really, really big with Trump and just injecting a more loving, passionate tone at whatever level I could.
Great, that's good. So but why wouldn't they want to do it? Because those are their, they just want to go along with what's going on?
Well, people are mean.
People are mean.
Yeah,
okay.
you put yourself out there to take a lot of feedback, I guess, from people. And so, for me, I just turned 50 last month, and just barely do I have thick enough skin to do this.
Oh, to deal with that.
Yeah, to deal with that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And so, those younger women that are already thick-skinned, I'm like, you go, girl. I'm so proud of them, because it took me 50 years to get this thick
to
skin.
get to that point, like,
yeah, I don't care
it's
anymore.
kind of like what I was saying earlier before we started the show, is like, being out in the public eye like this, you have to just kind of, I'm sorry, but you have to kind of ignore people. Otherwise, if you don't, they pull you down like that crab story. You're trying to get out of the bucket, and the crabs will pull you.
The next
pull
crab pulls the
pull
other crab
you
down.
down, and they try to get up, and they can never get out of the bucket because they're always pulling each other down. That's not exactly what's happening because it's an analogy, but it's something, what I've seen similar is how you get critiqued on everything. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah, right.
What are you doing? I'll get critiqued by the guy that's at 1,000 shows or whatever. But why should I listen to you? What are you doing? Nothing? Okay, great. Leave me alone.
Right.
Or come and help me. Let's go walk on doors.
Right.
Tell me what you think
Right.
is better. Come see what it's like.
It's amazing when we get one-on-one with just about anybody. You find common ground. Everybody's trying to live a decent life with some meaning and purpose and security and hope.
Yeah, that makes sense. You, I mean, it might be too early, but do you plan on going to whatever that next level is, like we were talking about earlier? Or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet. I'm really enjoying it. I'm only 2 months in, so 4 years
It's 4 years.
seems like a really long time.
Mhm.
So I won't be anywhere close to deciding until I'm 3.5 years into it, but I'm enjoying it, but I don't know if this is a lifelong thing for me.
How long does it take to run for city council? How long should you plan on running? Is it 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months probably.
Because it's a local thing? What if you're running for mayor? Would that be a year or 2 years, or is it?
Yeah, the submission time frame is all about the same.
Well, submission's different than actually running and
Sure.
being on the streets, right?
Declare yourself and then execute a plan.
What's the most challenging thing that you've seen about being a woman business owner and a woman city council member?
I guess patriarchal mindsets,
Hmm.
you know, there's a lot of that in Utah.
Patriarchal, and what is that for people that don't know?
It's just,
Since I can't pronounce it.
yeah.
Patriarchal.
Patriarchal?
Patriarchal.
Close.
Close.
Just that,
The
kind
screw your
of a-
man thing. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I'm a man.
I'm
you're
a
woman,
man, so I
forget
should
it.
be in charge, I should be making the decisions, you should be barefoot and pregnant. Roles.
Yeah,
We should all stay in our assigned roles, and there's a fair amount of that in business and in politics. But I'm really optimistic about Cottonwood Heights. It's come a long way in terms of diversity and multiple points of view, and as people are forced to live by neighbors that don't think the same way as they do, their thoughts expand, and it's becoming a really fun place to live.
yeah, it's changed a lot
It's
in the
changed a
past
lot.
few
Yeah.
years. There's a lot of businesses there. You get a lot of skiers, I guess, coming through.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, we do.
Has the population increased a lot? Because I don't notice a lot of
Yeah,
apartments.
no, we haven't had a lot of population growth, and we're pretty well built out. That's one of our hot topics right now at City Hall, that we're entertaining an ordinance to allow accessory dwelling units, mother-in-law apartments. And because of the shortage of housing
Mhm.
and the high demand, and so that is a hotly contested
Just
item right
just
now.
mother-in-law.
mother-in-law
That's
apartments.
simple. Do it. What's
Yeah,
the deal?
it's fairly easy, a lot of cities
You
are
dig
doing
a
it.
hole. You dig a hole. You throw your parents in there and lock it up.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, easy. If people have watched before, they know I take care of my parents as much as I can, so I can make that joke.
You're a good
Say-
son.
yeah. Be quiet down there. But anyway, so if you ever think of other ordinances, you should drive around this area before you go, because they changed this area to pretty much do whatever you want.
Really?
So you see apartments just popping up all over the place. You'll be shocked how much development there is here. We're looking at maybe doing that to this property too.
Wow. Yeah.
It's pretty neat. Well, did you see any challenges owning a bar and running for city council in that area? You did.
Totally, yeah. A fairly progressive pub owning woman. Yeah, I definitely thought it was a long shot. And I was, there's no doubt about it. The guy that I ran against was, he had a fairly high calling in his stake, and very
What
well
does that mean?
known.
For people that don't know
So
what the heck you're talking
he
about.
had a pretty
What does that
high
mean?
ecclesiastical title within the Mormon church.
Hmm.
And so he was pretty well known. It was definitely a long shot that I could win, but when I knocked door to door, I was shocked at how many like-minded people were there. And I hadn't met all my neighbors, because how often do you knock on people's doors?
At every door?
Yeah.
How often do you knock on every door in your city?
I got
Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? And she remembers everyone's name. Just wizard.
I do.
Call her up
I
tomorrow.
remember
yeah.
everyone. So yeah, it was really, after, a few days of knocking, I'm like, I might have a shot at this. So, and then you'd have days where you'd have, 10 houses in a row where it didn't go so well.
Yeah.
And you're thinking,
right.
oh, there's not a
You
chance.
quit. You're like, I'm done.
Roller
I'm done.
coaster.
I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. Right?
Yeah. That's it.
Well, thank you for being on the show. We
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah, a half hour goes pretty quick, right?
Yay.
Yeah. And if
Just
people,
right.
so people wanted to talk to you, how would they do that?
Email me.
And what's your email? And we'll post it too.
Let's go with electtallybruce@gmail.com.
Elect Tali Bruce.
And
or
it's
Talia, as I like to say.
T-A-L-I, Tali.
Oh, I'll do
Elect
that.
Tali Bruce @gmail. That's the spelling.
Yeah, that's the spelling.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, and there's the second Sunday of every month. You can go to About Time in Cottonwood Heights, which is by Reams. Is that where it is?
No, it's on 30th East, kind of across the street from
What's the
Market
address?
Street
Oh,
Grill.
sorry, what's the address?
6633, 6655, Big Cottonwood Canyon Road, something like that.
It's by Market Street Grill, that cool little area where
Yeah.
the trees and the river and stuff is. Cool. So thank you guys for watching and listening to the Ultra Perform Show, the show about performing your best in business and life. Remember to watch our show tomorrow, weekdays at 5 o'clock. We'll have Chris Miles talking about making money in a few different ways. And I forget exactly, but you check in tomorrow and you'll find out how. See you later. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
And we're still live on those two. They change. It's different formats, so it's hard to figure out sometimes. I do that too. Here, I'll do this one. You do that one. Because you didn't finish that one. This one's a little tricky. It's the X.